He went to great lengths to trick his female coworker into coming home, but not for anything romantic. He rushed straight into the kitchen and started cooking himself. He was cooking for her, but not to pursue her. It was all about the perfect flavor. First, he sautéed garlic for aroma, then scooped out the freshly boiled pasta. After that, he mixed them thoroughly to blend the flavors, sprinkled some finely chopped herbs on top. Under the girl's expectant gaze, a delicious plate of pasta was ready. He handed it to her with style, then immediately turned and walked away. The reason he did that was just to let her taste his cooking skills. As the head chef of a high-end restaurant, Kyle is extremely strict about food preparation. You could say he's deadly serious. Pork belly must be crispy outside, tender inside. Bacon must be grilled crispy but not burnt. Even when making breakfast for his son, he takes it just as seriously. First, he spreads butter on the toast, then places it on the grill, flipping until it turns golden and crispy. After frying, he adds a slice of cheese, spreads more butter, waits for the cheese to melt, and voila! A delicious sandwich is done. One bite pulls the melted cheese into string. Though high in calories, it delivers ultimate satisfaction to the taste buds. His love for food made Kyle well known in the area. He is very serious about his work. From ingredient selection to food prep to plating the dish, he does it all himself. However, due to being too focused on work, his personal life didn't go well. His wife divorced him for lack of attention. Even Saturdays meant for his son turned into taking his son to work with him, choosing ingredients together, because tonight, a food critic would be dining at their restaurant. To welcome this guest, Kyle prepared a brand new creative dish. He was sure the dish would mesmerize the critic, but just then, the boss walked in and found out Kyle planned to change the set menu. He immediately opposed Kyle's idea. He believed customers came to their restaurant because of the classic, unchanging signature dishes, not for Kyle's strange creative experiment. Though Kyle was very displeased, he had to obey since the boss said so. And this wasn't the first time it happened. Under pressure from his superior, Kyle reluctantly went back to making the signature dish. That evening, Kyle and a friend waited at a bar for the result. He figured with the usual dish this time, there shouldn't be any major issues, but the critic bluntly tore him apart, saying he had no clue how to cook and lacked any creativity. When he got home, the review about him had already gone viral online. The more Kyle read, the angrier he got. Over 10 years of experience as a chef were harshly dismissed without mercy. In the end, he couldn't take it anymore and fired back. What do you know about cuisine? Even if I placed a masterpiece in front of you, you wouldn't recognize it. Kyle wasn't familiar with social media. He thought it was a private message, but it turned out to be a public comment, visible to everyone. Once posted, it instantly caused a stir online. The next day, the critic clapped back without backing down. Netizens who were following the drama kept fanning the flame, urging Kyle to challenge the critic. Though his friends kept trying to calm him down, Kyle was too fired up and posted it anyway. This time, Kyle was determined to shut the critic up once and for all. He spent the entire day crafting a brand new menu: fresh shrimp paired with sea urchin, beef with a special house sauce, roast steamed pigeon. Everyone who tasted it couldn't stop praising it. Fragrant and spicy, truly amazing. By evening, the restaurant was fully booked. Everyone was eager to see if Kyle could finally strike back at the critic. But just as he was rushing to prepare, the boss showed up at the worst possible moment. He ordered Kyle to go back to the old menu. Even though Kyle tried to explain, the boss remained just as stubborn. Either stay and follow orders, or get out. In the end, Kyle couldn't take it anymore. He quit on the spot. Back home, he bought loads of ingredients, determined to perfect his new menu on his own. Meanwhile, without Kyle, the kitchen was in total chaos. When the critic arrived right on time, what greeted him was a scene that didn't stir up any appetite. Meanwhile, Kyle was giving it his all. Blazing spicy stir-fried squid, tomahawk steak, dessert, salad, the whole table was full. Just looking at it made your mouth water. The critic thought he'd be tasting a new menu tonight, but was served the same dishes as last time, leaving him extremely disappointed. He asked to see Kyle, but the boss told him Kyle had already quit, so the critic mocked him publicly online, saying Kyle's skills caved under pressure and he ran away. Kyle saw the post from home and felt his blood boil. As a chef passionate about cuisine, he couldn't accept being insulted like that. Furious, Kyle rushed to the restaurant and gave the critic a piece of his mind. All you ever do is dismiss all our hard work. Based on what? Just because you call yourself a food critic? At that point, he smashed the cake on the table. Kyle truly loved this job, and people like that care deeply about what others say, but some don't bother with the truth. Just a few words typed out can erase someone else's tireless efforts. A few days later, Kyle felt the full force of public backlash. Someone uploaded a video of him yelling at a customer onto social media, and he became the target of criticism. Overnight, the once famous chef, was now shunned by society. Almost no restaurant dared to hire him. A friend who worked in PR called him and suggested he take the chance to join a reality TV show. Even if people hate you, you're still famous, and you could make good money. But Carl only wanted to focus on cooking, so he declined. From that point on, Carl fell into the darkest time of his life. He drank heavily every day. His son rewatched the video of his dad and became quieter than ever. That night, Carl went to talk to his girlfriend Sofía. Sofía said she hadn't seen him smile like a real chef in a long time. This job had made him forget what truly mattered in life, like a son who just wanted his father to be around. Her words woke him up. Every time he was with his son, he still focused only on work, never once noticing his son's feeling. Thinking about that, he decided to follow her advice. They calmly and rationally broke up. The next day, Carl went to his ex-wife's house, wanting to take his son out, but the boy didn't want to see him. He saw Carl coming. His ex-wife also had something to tell him. She was planning to take their son to Miami to visit her father, and invited Carl to come along. So then, following his ex-wife's suggestion, Carl decided to go with them to Miami, a place where he had once been famous, and also where he first met his ex-wife. That evening, they visited her father's small bar. The vibe was cheerful, and the music was so lively that Carl felt full of energy again. His son finally smiled. During dinner, his ex-wife casually mentioned her ex-husband was also in Miami, and he had a long-abandoned food truck they could borrow to try it out. At that moment, Carl realized she invited him on the trip to help him through his crisis. Thinking of that, Carl gladly accepted her kindness. But when he arrived at the guy's place, the man, who looked like Tony Stark, greeted him with sarcasm and mockery. But luckily, he eventually agreed to lend the truck. Carl looked at the food truck. It was older than him. He was momentarily speechless. The inside was even more run down than expected. He bought cleaning supplies and cleaned it with his son. Thanks to their teamwork, the old food truck got a total makeover. But while cleaning the kitchen cabinet, his son got nauseous from the stench. Disgusted, the boy tossed a dirty plate in the trash. Right then, Carl saw it. He told his son to pick the plate back up, because it could still be used after washing. But the boy was so grossed out he refused to wash it. Watching his son walk away, Carl realized his words had been too harsh. So after cleaning the plate, he went over and gently comforted him. For the first time, father and son had real time together. There was a bit of awkwardness, but overall, it was a joyful time. When word got out that Carl had a food truck, Martin, his best friend and newly promoted sous chef, dropped everything to fly to Miami, volunteering to be Carl's assistant. They planned their dish together, the famous local Cuban sandwich. It started with a fresh pork shoulder, which was marinated in a mix of over 10 spices, then slow roasted in the oven for 5 hours. After that, a perfectly roasted Cuban-style pork was ready. It was sliced thin and fried again, then layered between slices of ham and toasted bread, topped with 2 slices of cheese and pickles, and a generous spread of mustard on the bread. Then came the most crucial step: brush the outside of the bread with butter, and also butter up the grill. Finally, press the sandwich in the grill until the crust turned golden and crispy, and the cheese slowly melted. A perfect, authentic Cuban sandwich was ready. After slicing it into 3 pieces, you could enjoy the stretchy melted cheese and the crispy toasted crust. If you don't know something, just learn it. And so, the food truck officially opened for business. The delicious aroma quickly attracted a crowd. The 3 of them divided tasks clearly, busy, but having a great time. Seeing customers' cheeks puffed while chewing was proof of how good the food was. The next day, thanks to Martin's help, they gave the truck's exterior a complete makeover. Their next stop was City Beach, with Martin spreading the word. Affordable prices and mouth-watering Cuban sandwiches. They quickly drew in crowds of tourists. The cash box filled up fast. People eagerly took photos and posted online. Carl's food truck quickly became a sensation. The next destination, he chose New Orleans, a place his son always wanted to visit. What they experienced along the way, his son recorded everything into short videos and posted them online. When they arrived, the streets were still quite empty. So, Carl took his son to an old bakery, a place that sold authentic French beignets. They walked and ate. This time, he wasn't distracted by work, but devoted all his attention to his son. When the two returned to the truck, they saw a long line of people waiting, and it was all thanks to his son. Every time they arrived at a new place, the boy would post their location on social media, helping locals easily find them. Because of the previous scandal, more and more people started following Carl. With that viral effect, every time they opened up, they sold out fast. Doing what you love and making money from it is what so many people dream of. Along the way, the bond between father and son grew stronger. When they reached Texas, they got to try the famous Texas barbecue. It was so good it usually sold out. Carl had to ask a friend to reserve some. As a chef, he wanted to serve that amazing meat to his customers, so he took what was left and turned it into a new item on the menu. Their truck quickly became a hotspot for selfies. More and more people showed up. Even though they were super busy, Carl felt genuinely happy. Right then, his ex-wife called. Clearly, they still had feelings for each other. They just used their son as an excuse to reconnect. The journey was coming to an end. The father and son sat on the roof of the truck. Together, Carl and his son wrapped up their road trip. He said life is like a video clip, a string of experiences stitched together. Then everyone returns to their own life. So he told his son not to be sad, because farewells are an inevitable part of life. And just like that, Carl's journey ended. After returning his son to his ex-wife, Carl went back to his apartment. Everything looked the same, but the bond between father and son had grown stronger. He opened the video his son had sent, and felt truly happy. Before, work had turned him into a machine, talented, but with no room to shine. Now, the journey with his son helped him find himself again, and brought back both love and family. From then on, Carl stayed busy but happy. Customers flocked to his truck. His wife and son helped out every Sunday. But just then, the food critic showed up again. This time, Carl wasn't angry. He calmly asked why the critic had come. Turns out, when Carl's food truck went viral, the critic had someone buy a Cuban sandwich for him. Just one bite and he was instantly hooked. But he didn't want to write a review anymore. He wanted to invest in Carl instead. He had already bought a location downtown, fully designed, business licenses complete. Carl could cook whatever he wanted. The only request, the critic gets the first taste. So with just one sandwich, Carl landed hundreds of thousands in investment. 6 months later, Carl's restaurant officially opened. He didn't let his investor down, constantly creating new and original dishes. Inside that restaurant, Carl and his ex-wife held their wedding again. Chef isn't just a movie about food, it's a journey of dreams, new beginnings and life's meaning. The main character Carl once hit rock bottom, but found his passion for cooking again, and built his own career. The film ends with Carl's success, and a happy family, delivering a message full of hope. Kuyen kich nuoi zem du ko kon den dao, chicken no luk va dam mi, esi tim fei hung di cho kuok doi min.